Hello, everyone. My name is Brennan Hodge. I'm the VP of Product here at VOXO, and I've got Nick Kelso with me. He's our VP of Sales. And this is going to be the very first episode of what's going to be many conversations around pharmacy technology. Now, the purpose of this podcast is pretty simple. We're going to be talking with technology leaders, and these are technology leaders who work with independent pharmacies. We want to get their take on the current state of the pharmacy world, where things are headed in the future, and how their solutions are helping pharmacies operate smarter, leaner, and more profitably. To kick things off today, we thought we'd share our own story, how VOXO got to where we're at now. And to do that, I'm going to let Nick take it. So, Nick, you got it.
All right, nice, Brennan. Thanks. So VOXO started roughly 10 years ago. We're celebrating 10 years this year. Actually doing a little company offsite here next month to celebrate that. So really pumped about that. But it started 10 years ago by our founder. It's a guy named Joe Mordica, and really just selling communication services in Mississippi and the Southeast. So mainly local Hattiesburg, Mississippi companies, very, very small, grassroots, bootstrap type, selling out of his garage kind of thing. Started the company in a very typical like software startup sort of way with kind of bootstrapped it, and really just grew it to something that was fairly impactful in Hattiesburg, but also saw the opportunity for disruption in the industry, in the communications industry, right, Brandon? Um, so we found this huge gap in the communication SaaS industry, specifically with a lot of people, a lot of organizations that are strapped into these long-term contracts, right? So they'd be in 3, 5, maybe even 10-year long contracts, which is, anything about technology changes so quickly. I think it's changed, within a month, even with us, in the way that we develop things and how innovative we can be, and it just changes so quickly. So these large contracts posed a big problem. Outside of that was just impersonal support. So that was another huge gap that Joe identified, and some of the early guys, just impersonal support. When technology breaks, we try to build things to where it doesn't ever break, but undoubtedly this is man-made, systems, so that will break at some point. It will, we'll have a hiccup at least at some point, right? And so that's when you need really personal support. And so that was a huge gap. We decided, hey, we'll never outsource support. We'll never, I guess, take that to a place where you see here. We decided we would never outsource that chance to better people's lives on a daily basis through support. So, and finally, just complicated products with even worse billing, right, Brendan? So, we just had a ton of. We just noticed that our competitors and just really the industry at large just had all these a la carte products. Sometimes, 15, 20, 50 different products just to get a simple phone call to be made, and to get the data and insights that they needed on that. So, and then the billing was even worse, just crazy complicated billing. So we took this mindset with those three problems. We took the mindset of just truly serving the customer. And we did that, 10 years ago. And even today, it's the same way. Like, we want to honor God by leaving people better than we found them. That starts in the sales process, through onboarding, support, even this podcast. Like, we want this podcast to be something that if you listen to, it's just not another industry jargon podcast, but you're left better than you were before you listened to the podcast, right? Whether that be knowledge or just some way that we can bless you. So how we got to independent pharmacies is we were just focused on anyone and everyone that would that needed communication services, and we would pitch them. No real ideal customer profile, no real niche market or anything at that point. We were selling all over the U.S. up to about 3 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, I'd say. And there was a local health clinic that had one pharmacy. They had multiple locations in one pharmacy, and we were pitching them our services. And that one pharmacy said, "Hey, we're using Pioneer RX, great company, using Pioneer RX, and we really need a way for our IVR to be integrated in to where customers, when they call in, or patients, when they call in, that they could refill their prescriptions automatically or queue it up in Pioneer." So we said, "Hey, we'll look into that integration. We're scrappy. We want to be innovative for you. We won't let this kind of kill the deal, you know." Um, so Brennan, I think it was you actually that reached out to Pioneer RX. That wasn't too long after you came on board with
First, first month.
first month. Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, so we just Brennan reached out to some of the leadership there, Pioneer RX, and there was a window open for us to integrate. Very easy to work with, and we were able to serve that local customer. Um, and then yeah, the rest is history. Ever since then, we've been really targeting and really with the hope of serving independent pharmacies. There's a great need there for communication services, and we've we've just seen a great market with a lot of opportunity to help. And so that's where we are today, Brennan. So I'll kick it back to you, man, to share what's next.
Awesome, Nick. I appreciate that. That was a good story. And talking about when we moved, because for the listeners out there, we recently moved to new office, had upgrade, growing team, and I found the piece of paper that I use. And every day I'd start a clean piece of paper like this, I write my notes on there, and I wrote down like the meeting I had with Simrock, all the stuff about IVR. I remember put 2 hours a day on the phone refilling prescriptions, question mark. I love seeing like the starting moments of something pretty cool, and that was it.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'll take that back, Nick. I appreciate the history there. You know, I'm very honored to be a part of VOXO. I've been here for 2 years, and we've been growing steadily, and it's a very fun company to be a part of. Now, a little bit about VOXO and what we're building now. So, Nick, you alluded to, phones, basic communication, our IVR piece. You know, at a core at pharmacies, you have to have a reliable phone system that is dependable. Patients call in, they need the refills, their prescriptions refilled. You need to make outbound calls to patients. We provide that service. A nice interface where you can manage it all if you want, or you can just call us. We'll manage it for you. Now, also on top of that, you mentioned IVRs, interactive voice response. We're probably all familiar with that. It's been around about 50 years, quite a while, where you press one or something, for instance, refilling a prescription, two to check the status of the prescription, and three to check the hours. Very basically, every pharmacy has to have something like that to eliminate all the phone calls as much as possible. Now, while that is really taken off, a lot of pharmacies are adopting that. We've started to see the evolution, and we're building something that is the evolution of the IVR. We think it's called Intelligent Voice Agent, so IVA. It's a way that patients can call a pharmacy and get all their needs handled without being transferred to a pharmacist or a pharmacy staff. So it's really to eliminate the phone calls in a pharmacy. And it achieves the same thing as our IVR does, along with a lot more. So patients call in, refill prescriptions, check the status on their prescriptions, ask about really inventory you have, vaccinations in stock, vaccinations offered, booking appointments for vaccinations, general hours when you're open, when you're closed. Really, you can drop in a knowledge base all about your pharmacy and have the IVA answer the patient. So it really serves as that kind of a buffer between the patients and the pharmacy staff that's there doing very strategic work on getting refills processed. And then if the patient has any issue or they need to talk to pharmacy staff, we'll transfer them immediately. You can be transferred to a pharmacist, pharmacy staff, call groups, queues, wherever that patient wants to be transferred. And we're rolling that out now. We just started recently here in the past month. I'm getting a lot of good feedback. And that's what we're going to continue to do is build reliable phone systems, build solutions to help streamline pharmacy operations. And it's fun. It's fun to build this. It's fun to help pharmacies. And for probably the next 10 to 15 episodes, we're going to be talking to other industry leaders who work in the independent pharmacy space and the Pioneer RX ecosystem and beyond, how they step in and help independent pharmacies do the same. There's a lot of innovative technologies out there. Some could really use the platform to talk about their products, and we're going to do that. We're going to reach out to these guys and just share ideas in this space about how technology is reshaping the independent pharmacy space. So I'm excited to be a part of this. It's excited to move forward, and this is going to be one of many. So, as they say on the YouTube world, like and subscribe.
Yeah, exciting, man, exciting. Looking forward to it for sure.
Good deal, Nick. Well, thank you for your time today, and thank you for everybody listening today. And keep up. We'll see you next time.
See ya. Pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.